Good morning, afternoon, or evening, Maverick fans. Welcome to another edition of the Mavpuckcast. See, I threw that little wrench right in there. You were expecting the normal intro, and you didn't get it. I am Jason, and I am in a terrible, funky mood, I guess.
Yeah, Jason is completely distracted. I am John. There was some question as to whether we would even do this podcast. Jason and I are fading fast, and it's only the beginning of October. Normally,
It's the first games of the season.
yeah, it is. It is October 5th. Normally, we haven't even played a game at this point, and we're all excited. We've played 2 games and 1 scrimmage, and you know, our fall and winter are very busy after last year, where we didn't have as much stuff going on because everything was canceled. So there you
So I
go.
think we should open up something on one of those betting apps that don't sponsor the podcast, so we won't mention them by name until they sponsor the
Right.
podcast. And then we can, bury them all over. But I think they should take an over-under on whether or not we make it through the season.
It's going to be tough. Bridget and I were having a discussion in the car today. She's like, you guys got to keep this short. You got to keep it tight. It's got to be structured because if you guys do an hour-long podcast from now through March, you guys are never going to get through it considering how busy our schedules are. And that is absolutely true. So we're going to do what we can to streamline and keep this thing going.
So enough rambling. Let's talk about this weekend then.
Yeah, good series for UNO against Lake Superior State. Lake Superior State in the newfangled CCHA, an old opponent of ours from back in the day. Look, this was a series that I said last week that I thought that they could sweep. I really thought that they could have swept this series this weekend. I actually thought we played Friday, the game that we lost in overtime. Then we did, or excuse me, did I say Saturday? Saturday. Then we did the second game in the series Sunday, the game that we won. So um, there was some positives and negatives to take away from the series. Obviously, Saturday showed them that they have to play a full 60 minutes. You have a 1 goal lead with 2 minutes left. The other team gets the extra skater onto the ice at that point, gets the equalizer, but you've got to keep those situations from happening. So that was a learning moment for this team in the early parts of the season. Uh, but I thought they looked solid in that game. I thought they looked like a really solid team top to bottom. And then Sunday was interesting because I really thought Lake State outplayed us throughout most of the first and certainly the second period. But we came out with a good win that night. So kind of a mixed bag, but I think there's a lot that the coaches have to be happy about. Certainly, I think depth is one of the strengths for UNO this season.
Yeah, I would agree. For me, it's no question they played their better game of the weekend was the Saturday game, and it's
Yep.
not even close. Like they,
Yep.
I was talking to some in the concourse before the game and stuff, and I'm like, kind of go one of two ways. Like either they come out Sunday after losing in overtime with a chip on their shoulder, and they just
Right.
bury Lake State early, or they come out kind of tight, and unfortunately they kind of came out tight.
Yep.
I think they were clutching a little bit. They were looking for answers, and I think the hardest thing is like while we outplayed them on Saturday, our opportunities were not quality chances or difficult saves for the goalie to make. I felt at least like
Right.
I thought we were really kind of pedestrian in that system and in those opportunities, and I'd like to see him open up a little bit more and kind of play a little bit more of a run and gun. I thought
Yep.
Seville particularly. I thought Seville was a lot better Sunday than he was Saturday.
I agree.
He looked more composed, and I never like seeing goalies kind of move more than they need to, and a lot of times it seemed like he was lunging a little bit harder, and um, you know, those are some saves that 99% of the time he makes. I'd say like half their goals were probably saves that 99% of the time he makes that save.
Yep.
And it just so happened that the 1% of the time happened twice in one game, and
I
that's ended
know.
up kind of killing us. So
Yep, exactly right. I agree with you. I thought he looked better. He looked like the goalie we expect him to be on Sunday afternoon for sure.
yeah, I was a little surprised that. Well, I mean, I guess I can't because there wasn't a whole lot of games being played this weekend, so the competition for goaltender of the week wasn't exactly mind-boggling good. So, uh, but Sunday was really that because he played lights out Sunday, obviously with the shutout. I mean,
Yep.
that's what we need him to be all season.
And we really needed that because if you look at that second period, I know we got a goal in the second, but um, they were peppering us with shots, and they really, spent most of the period in their offensive zone. Um, so yeah, I thought he played great that game, and it was good to come out with a split in the series because like you said, I didn't know after that, having that tough loss on Saturday night, if we would come out, guns a-blazing on Sunday. And at first, I wasn't sure we were going to, and I was a little worried that Lake State's better than they've been in recent years. They made the NCAA tournament last season, but I was a little bit worried there for a while, but ultimately the guys came through in the end. So a good way to start the season. Obviously, they had to knock off a little bit of off-season rust. Their first game action, we didn't get the benefit of an exhibition against a Canadian school this year. So overall, I'll take a split in this series to start the season. But man, it would have been a great opportunity to get a sweep.
Yeah, that would have been nice, but I think for me, I'll tell you, the one thing that worried me the most
Okay.
was nothing that was on the ice.
Okay.
Like Saturday, I chalked it off to the whole, Nebraska football in town, attendance is low because of that.
Right.
But to have a game that was sub 3,500 and then the second game be sub 3,000, like, come on, fans, we got to get you out there because I just that worries me moving forward to see all those open seats, especially after a year where we couldn't go watch hockey. It's like you guys got to get out there, support the team and stuff because they're gonna need it. They need that energy.
Yeah, they definitely need the energy. They need the fans. They need the enthusiasm in the arena because that carries them through a lot of games during the season. We need to have the atmosphere, and obviously games early in the season don't get the kind of attention that the NCHC games in the second half, in particular when North Dakota comes to town. But you would like to see more people come out and support the team, especially since so few people came to the 7 games that UNO had fans at last season. There weren't many people there, so I thought people are going to be chomping at the bit, ready to go, but we're not quite there. And obviously, good weather is going to hinder a little bit of that. But like you said, I want more people to come out and support this team because it's a team that has a lot of great potential this season, and they deserve the support from the community. And people are happy to be getting out and doing stuff. So come and enjoy the Mavericks play.
So players of the game.
Players, yeah. Are we doing players of the weekend? Players of the weekend. Players of the 2 game series.
2 games, yeah.
Who am I going to do this weekend? This is a tough one.
Well, I got 2, so I figured you'd take one of them. So if you want me to go first, I can make it a little bit more difficult on you.
Go first, but I can't guarantee I won't pick the same player, and I have no idea who you're going to pick. But
you can't pick the same player. We made that rule.
No.
So...
All right.
Oh yeah, that rule still sticks, man. You don't get out of that just because it's a new season.
All right.
All right. I'll take the easy pick. The guy who scored the first goal in both games, Matt Miller.
No, that's who I was going to pick.
I told you should have gone.
You knew I was going to pick him too, didn't you?
It's the easy one, right?
It is.
But beyond the 2 goals, he was good in the face-off circle. He's always been. We talked about this last season. He is a sound defensive 200-foot player. There's really not much that I don't like about his game, and it's impressive, like just the consistency, and We got guys on the team like, Ward and Primo. And I mean, if you look at just raw talent, I think most people would probably go to some of those guys like that, right? Weiss and his puck skills and his passing abilities, and that's Seville and his goaltending. I mean, that's where people's minds go. But like, I always felt that it's guys like Matt Miller that are, just consistently productive and efficient in everything that they do, night in and night out. I can't think of a game last season that we couldn't at least say that he was one of the better guys out on the ice.
Yeah, a great player. Originally a Michigan State recruit. I'm glad Michigan State passed him over and he ended up at UNO because he's been a really nice addition to the roster the past couple of seasons. Like you said, sound leadership, sound play. He's just one of those, again, he's kind of like a guy like Kevin Conley, just a guy that when he's in the lineup, you expect him to be solid, and he generally is solid. He's not a guy who makes a lot of mistakes out there, and he does a lot of good things in the offensive zone. So, yeah, that's absolutely who I was going to pick. So, thanks a lot, dude. Thanks for doing.
So now you got to pick someone else.
Which is a little bit harder because there's not an obvious pick like that. There were a lot of good performances this weekend, a lot of options to pick. But I'm going to pick one of our favorite offensive defensemen on the team, Brandon Scanlon, who had the assist on Matt Miller's Saturday night goal. Scanny, one of my favorite players. He's a guy, again, he's really, when he played with the Brooks Bandits in the AJHL, I thought he looked very impressive then. He's just gotten better and better each season that he's been here, and he's really been a welcome addition to the blue line the past few seasons. This is third season already. Is he a junior? I don't know. Is he a junior already? Gosh,
yeah, I'm pretty sure
he's a junior already. Gosh, it's hard to believe that these guys have been around that long. Gosh, amazing. But
and before the comments get going to correct you, he got the assist on Sunday night.
I'm sorry.
You off being Saturday, Sunday, then Friday, Saturday. I knew where you're going.
I know,
but I also know the people that haunt our comments. So
yes, they nitpick every little thing. So yes, I'm totally confused in my comments between the Saturday and Sunday game because I'm used to saying
game
Friday
number
and
two.
Saturday.
Just call it game number two.
Game number two. But yes, he got that, and that really was an important goal and an important time in the game for him to get. At that point, it had been knotted up, and as I said, I was a little bit worried. So that second period goal was really important for UNO to kind of stem the flow from the Lakers at that point. So yeah, but I would say solid all weekend. But gosh, there were a number of guys this weekend that you could point to that had really good performances. So. And
and even the new guys.
Yeah.
Like, I thought McManus had. I think his Saturday game was better than his Sunday game.
Yep.
And he had that shootout goal, which was just awesome.
How many weekends do you have in a 2-game series? 2 shootout goals.
Right.
Two penalty shot goals for your team.
2 penalty shot opportunities in the same series. Yeah.
That's rare. So, yep.
And I mean, it's hard to argue with them. Like, both of them were pretty clear, I think. The one on Sunday, you might argue that there was no. I would argue that there's no separation there. I think, but I'll take the opportunity. Just wish it would have got buried. It's kind of one of those like,
I know.
Man, if he buries this, like that's that tide turning kind of feel, and
that would have definitely been a momentum shift. But
no.
we got one of 2. So
yeah.
But good performance for the guys. I'm excited to see where they go from here. Would have loved a sweep, but you can't have everything.
I got to point out, I was pretty dang close to having my prediction come through.
You question me. You're like, John's doing his unbridled enthusiasm thing. And that was absolutely correct. And I was sitting there on Sunday and I was a little worried. I'm like, dang, I swear, if we get swept in this series, I'm going to look like us. I really thought, and I still think we could have swept that series. It was, I wasn't disappointed or anything. I was just surprised. Yeah. So, Yeah, you were right. You thought maybe a split or a win and a tie. I think you picked it maybe.
Well, I think I said, well, not I think I said a win and a tie
Yeah.
just because I thought there was I thought that there was a chance that Lake State might get underestimated in their in their talent level. I think a lot of
And
teams
I think they did.
underestimate them,
I think they did. Yep.
and I just was like, if it's close late, there's that chance, just like what happened, that you pull a goaltender, you get a late goal, you get into overtime, and you know who knows in overtime, and unfortunately, turnover, transition play, a little lost on coverage, and Lake
Yep.
State capitalizes. Purcelli with a second of the game, and they lost. And it's like it happens that quick when it's 3-on-3
Yep.
overtime.
Yeah. 3-on-3.
And that's the hard thing
Yeah.
for me to pick is like I'm looking at it and going, I think the first game's going to be kind of close. I think I like our chances better if we win that first game, but we lost the first game, and that's kind of what worried me. So we'll see. Hopefully they can bounce back. And we'll get to predictions a little bit later about the Maine series. But before we do that, we've got some quick things to kind of fast-paced segment here.
That's right. We're calling this segment the Shootout. It's a new segment. I just texted Jason about it mere moments ago, and we're going to talk about a few quick rapid-fire answers. Jason and I are not going to belabor the point like we normally do, and hopefully this will become a tradition to keep this thing moving along. So, our first question is, what did you think of UNO's new gray third jerseys?
So am I supposed to say yes or no or scale of 5? Like you didn't give me a qualification here.
Oh, I was supposed to make this true false.
Yeah,
True or
is
false?
this true or false? The jerseys were gray this weekend.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what did you think of the new gray alternate jerseys unveiled for the 25th season?
5.
5. Okay.
5.
I'm going to give them a 9.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Big fan of those jerseys.
See, but this is not fair. Now I want to talk about it. All right.
Well, you can make a brief comment. We're not gonna...
Okay. Brief comment for me.
Okay.
Even me, having pretty good eyesight and being the one that most people go, I can't believe you can read that, could not read the names of the back of the jerseys.
Okay, I will agree with you. The font on the name of the jerseys was impossible to see. And this early in the season, I haven't refamiliarized myself with the numbers enough to know, and especially with new guys on the team, I didn't know who I was looking at. So it was obviously much more comfortable on Sunday when they were wearing their normal home white jerseys. So I will agree the font on the back was rough, but overall, I liked the gray, I liked the simple black stripes, and more than anything, I loved having that bull on the front because that should be on the front of the home jersey like it was during the first however many years this program had that on the front of the jerseys before they decided to go with Omaha.
As my friend Ryan said, it was Afro Bowl in full force.
Okay.
Afro Bowl. I think that's kind of cool.
Okay. Okay, so I will agree with you on the font.
Okay.
Topic
Next
number
question.
2. Yes. Question number
Okay.
2. Did you order anything with the QR code ordering system at the concession stands that we talked about in the previous episode?
No.
I didn't either.
You can't order beer through it. Bastards.
You can't? Okay.
No, it didn't have it as an option. At least for the one that's by us. I did not go through to check the other one. So next chance I get to go a game, I will check every darn one of them to see. But the one that I was at, there was no option to order a beer.
And I will say that my friend Scott, who wanted to buy funnel fries because he buys them at most every game, did not realize they didn't take cash. And he didn't have his credit or debit card with him. So he ended up buying an extra tub that our friends Jamie and Renee, who sit right next to us, had inadvertently gotten at the concession stand. He bought it off of them. So apparently there's a resale market for concessions for people who want to bring cash. If you want to just go ahead in your section, just buy a bunch of nachos, popcorn, everything else, and just, it was like Craigslist or eBay up there. So there you go.
Well, and price increases, so yay.
Yeah,
Take some money, sell it to a friend.
I've seen that in a number of entertainment venues around Omaha. Concession prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would probably have something to do with the fact that there was no business the last 12 months. So understandable. So no QR code for Jason, no QR code for me. We'll have to see if we try that out at some point in the future.
Okay.
Okay. And shootout topic number 3. Do you think we'll see the lobby celebration ever again? Now, I qualify that. I'm not saying this season. I'm like, do you think that this will just be the end of the lobby celebration?
No, I think it'll come back.
I hope it comes back, but I think it's possible we might not see the lobby celebration again.
I think that'd be a shame because I personally know recruits who have mentioned that celebration as something that's unique to Omaha. And to lose that uniqueness, I think just, what do you have? Like, what are you? You're like every other program.
You are that
struggles to get to the Frozen Four and hasn't won a championship.
That is one of the coolest traditions that has been developed over the last 25 seasons in UNO hockey. I will totally agree with you. I love it. But I think that an overabundance of caution within the administration might mean that we don't see that lobby celebration again. So I think this might be the end. It might be over. So we'll have to see.
I guess we'll see.
I guess we will.
All right. You got more in there, or is that all you got?
That's it. You got anything you want to throw
Questions
at me?
I want to fire out there?
Yeah. Anything from this weekend series?
I got one.
Okay.
All right. So the rumor, I'll classify this as a rumor because I do not know anyone who actually works for the university who has confirmed this. But
we have the freedom to talk about. We have the freedom to talk about rumors here.
The rumor is that the gray jerseys that we just graded will be auctioned off at the end of the season. So my question to you:
yeah,
over under $150.
Is that how much? How much I think that over.
You think it'll go over?
I think it'll be over. I guess it depends on when they do it and when the hand bid auction is, but I'm gonna say over 150 on those jerseys, top to bottom. What is your thought on that?
I think average wise will be over.
Okay.
I think some of them will certainly go under.
Okay.
But
that'd be nice if they.
I think if you go average wise, there's a handful of jerseys that one person's gonna walk up and slap $500 down on the table and they're gonna be gone because they always seem to do that, like buy now for $500 kinds of deals. So I think someone's gonna just snatch those up right first thing.
So yeah, there's some guys down on the roster who may not be as popular who are currently auditioning. They don't know it to be the next game-worn jersey I end up buying in a UNO auction. So I want. And one interesting little tidbit about the jerseys, on the back shoulder above the nameplate, some of those gray third jerseys have the 25th season anniversary patch on them, and some of them have an O patch on them, which is interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. So I don't know if that was an error or some of them just came without patches. It'll be interesting to know. So that'll factor into your bidding process too. Do you want one with the 25th anniversary on the back or just the generic O on the back? They both have the 25th anniversary logo up on the upper chest, so on the front. So hard to say, but good question.
For me, it's For me, it's all about whether or not they put the names on the back of the jerseys or if it's still just a number.
Well, good luck bidding on Matt Miller's jersey and Tyler
Yeah.
Weiss's jersey. That's going to set you back much more for both of those guys than 150
Yeah,
bucks.
well,
So
the kids
good
want
luck.
Seville and Conley, so good luck with those two.
Yeah, so Jason's going to be paying much more than 150. So, all righty then. We got to talk about the Maine series coming up.
Up next, after this quick commercial break, Maine Bears. Yep.
Yeah, and Maine is currently a tough team for us to judge because they have not played any hockey yet this season. We are their first series of the season. I actually, I kind of like that we have some good solid game experience against a good Lake State team going into this series this weekend at Baxter Arena.
I got to expect that plays to our favor a little bit.
Yep, Maine, one of the kind of old school, sort of traditional powerhouses. They haven't been as good in recent years. What are your thoughts on our chances against the Black Bears?
I think that having played quote unquote real hockey, a full series,
Yep.
that it actually mattered. And the hardships that they went through, I think that plays into their favor. I think that can help them. I question whether or not the production will be there, because if we play like Sunday night, I'm not so sure we can beat them. If we play like Saturday, and put some difficulty to our system and our shot progressions, I think we can beat them. I think we can sweep them. So it really kind of, this early in the season, it kind of comes down to, which team do we get? And I would say from a prediction standpoint, I think a split is where we see this end up.
Okay, Jason's going with the cautious pick again. I'm going to say that we sweep again. I'm going to say that we sweep because last season Maine won a whopping total of 3 games. They won 1 of their last 9 games. Now, I will say, I don't know what they have coming back. I don't know, if they've got some good, talented guys they might have gotten through the transfer portal. Maybe if they were kind of a young team last season. I'm not looking. They've got a lot of juniors and seniors on this roster. So they've got, they've got some returning experience on the team. I'm sure that they're hungry for a win. Jason's prediction of a split could happen, but I'm going to say that we sweep these guys. And I'm telling you what, these are big opportunities for you when you look at how the pairwise is handled this season. God, they've got to have some good success in these non-conference games. Last season the human element was there because there was no interconference play. But this year there is. This is a great opportunity. I'm thinking UNO is going to be 3-1 after this weekend series.
I hope you're right. And to your point about the pairwise, I think the other component to this is, what we just went through with COVID. It's impossible to expect what will happen.
Right.
And for all we know, hockey could shut down Monday morning for months because of some crazy outbreak or something like that. And, this may be our lone out of conference, games may be Lake State and Maine. And
Yeah,
that's it.
you just know. Yeah.
You don't. And it's like you have to, and that's if I was coach, in the locker rooms and stuff and on the ice on practices, like that's what I'd be preaching to these guys is, look, you have to play like this is your chance. This is it. This is the only game you've got to prove what you can do. And if you're not willing to put in that effort, not willing to go out there and play, then let us know because we've got plenty of kids here who are willing to take your spot and put in that kind of effort.
Right. And to just use an example, a series last weekend, Minnesota was getting ready to play Alaska, a team that we play 4 times this season. And that series has been postponed to January because of COVID issues with Alaska. So Jason is not being, overly, pessimistic in his potential view. This has already happened this season and very few games have been played. So
Right.
we don't know what's going to happen. So like last season, you got to play every game, every series like it may be the last one that you play for a month, and you've got to get as many positive results. So they really need, I know it's October and I know the season looks long, they've got to play with a sense of urgency, and that's the thing that will carry them a long way this season.
It's extremely difficult and near impossible to call this a must win, but you really can't just let these opportunities slip.
Yep.
These are not NCHC teams, and that's the thing for me without Lake State when the reviewers, the writers, and all of them start commenting on who's better, this team or that team type of thing. It's like we're a team that plays in arguably the best conference in college hockey. You should be able to sweep Lake State. You should be able to sweep Maine.
Yep. Yep.
You should be probably 80% wins on out of conference games.
Yeah, if you look at these first 10 games are being played at home. It's and you look at who we're playing, it's a really, really good opportunity for UNO to rack up some wins early and put themselves in a position to make a really nice run in the second half. So, and with road games coming up in November and December, series at St. Cloud State and Western Michigan, which are going to be tough, get all of the positive momentum you can now. So this is a great opportunity for UNO to take down a Hockey East team. That'll help in those pairwise comparisons later in the season. So we'll be excited to see what happens. Yeah, go ahead.
You've done it in the past. I know I'm kind of putting you a little on the spot.
Yep.
With this, but do you know TV, radio? Is there any way to watch or listen if you can't attend the game?
That is an excellent question, and I will look that up here for you momentarily.
I believe isn't it 1180 that carries the games?
Yes, 1180 carries the games, and it looks like you will be able to watch these games on nchc.tv.
Oh yeah, really?
Yep.
Cool. Well, then I'll be able to watch it because I won't be here.
Jason basically is going to be out of town all fall, as far as I'm. Jason.
Hey, it's not that bad.
Jason is going to be in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So
yeah,
got a youth hockey trip with his daughter planned, and that should be an exciting time for him. The rest of us will be holding down the fort at Baxter Arena, and we hope to see a bunch of you there. So until next week, assuming we get an episode recorded next week while the world traveler is traversing the eastern half of the United States, we'll just leave you by saying, go Mavs.
Go Mavs.